Donald Trump could not resist inserting himself into the NBA Finals a day after throwing a tantrum on Meet the Press. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. If you don't live in New York City, maybe you're not aware of this, but New Yorkers are very excited that the Knicks are in the finals. The Empire State Building is orange and blue. The subway stations are orange and blue. Even the rats are orange and blue, which is probably more due to a genetic mutation that's terrifying. But for now, let's just say it's Knicks reasons. Even our local amateur baseball team in Queens is wearing orange and blue. New Yorkers have been going absolutely wild, packing bars, partying in the streets outside Madison Square Garden. There are even breakdancing robots wearing Knicks jerseys. And sure, the Knicks robot stops dancing pretty quickly, but in fairness to the people who built it, no one ever thought it needed a battery that would last into the NBA Finals. Between the beautiful weather and the Knicks winning 13 playoff games in a row, the vibes have been immaculate. Those mysterious guys crawling down manholes, those are just Knicks fans holding watch parties in the sewers. We hope. And the joy feels bigger than basketball. It's bringing New Yorkers together, as evidenced by this viral clip of Knicks fans celebrating.
My mayor Muslim, my bagel's Jewish, my Christian Dior, Knicks
I mean, that is poetry, and it's also a perfect example of how confident New Yorkers are. The Knicks haven't won a title in 53 years, and yet people are in the streets up 2-0 saying it's going to be a sweep. I am a Red Sox fan. If you had whispered in 2004, I think we might beat the Yankees, everyone you knew would say, "You shut the up, you jinx." You can't blame the Knicks fans. They've won 13 straight postseason games. Joy is in the air. The city is rocking. The players are lovable. Nothing, and I mean nothing can ruin this for us.
President Trump is planning on attending Game 3 of the NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden.
Oh, come on, man. Why you gotta ruin everything? Also, nothing than making your first Knicks game of the year Game 3 of the Finals. Tonight is for the diehards. It's for Spike and Ben and Edie, Timmy, Mariska, Tracy. It's not for a dude who doesn't know about this team. Not only do I not think he could pronounce OG Anunoby's last name, there's a good chance he thinks his first name is pronounced Og. Can you just let us have this one thing without making it all about you? Do you even care about the NBA? As far as I can tell, your only connection to the sport is the similarity between your complexion and the surface of a basketball. By the way, Trump going to a Knicks game makes it 100 times funnier that he didn't go to his own son's wedding. What a knife twist. I bet when Don Jr. was little, Trump would play catch with the neighbor's kid. Now, it would be bad enough if Trump was just turning this into a political circus, but he's also making it a worse experience for everyone else trying to get into the arena.
The Knicks are now warning fans ahead of Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The team says there will be increased security measures. That's because President Trump will be at tomorrow's game at Madison Square Garden. Fans are encouraged to arrive at least 2 hours before tip-off. People are also asked to bring as little with them as possible. They say it'll be TSA-style screening heading into the venue.
TSA-style security for a basketball game? Perfect. Right when LaGuardia is finally nice, we turn MSG into an airport. By the way, these tickets are expensive. The cheapest one still costs thousands of dollars. Imagine spending that much money just to wait in line for 2 hours. And you're not going to be happy when you find out who is doing the cavity searches. He's not happy either. By the way, if you can't afford those exorbitant ticket prices and you'll be watching from home, don't worry, the president is laser focused on affordability. After all, he is a man of the people.
The cheapest price for the Game 3 you're going to is $8,000. Everyday Americans can't afford these sports.
Well, I know, but they can watch it on television. It's sort of semi-free to watch it on television, but that's the way life goes.
All right. Next time you're wondering why the president hasn't fixed the economy, just remember he uses terms like sort of semi-free. Next time you go to a gas station, look for that on the sign. Second, that's the way life goes is such a funny thing to say when you were elected to change how life was going. This guy spent an entire presidential campaign promising to make life affordable for working Americans. Then the second he gets into office, he's like, tough losers, I'm taking a break from building my ballroom so I can go to the NBA Finals. Maybe get into a cheaper sport like rat races. But I take the president's point. New Yorkers can just enjoy the game on TV. In fact, there have been some raucous watch parties right outside the Garden. With the approval of the city, if you can't afford to go to the game, you can just go to the watch party, and you can still feel like you're part of the action, right?
The official watch party outside canceled. The NYPD saying this was done fully in coordination with the Secret Service because of the presidential visit.
We're not going to see the usual scenes of celebration and fans gathering at the game that we have been seeing in the last few games.
That is likely causing a lot of heartbreak for New Yorkers, definitely those who cannot get into the Garden, who have been coming to the watch party to try and get as close as possible. They will not be able to do so.
What? The watch party is canceled? Well, all right, bear with me. If Trump's going to be at MSG, can the crowds at MSG use the White House? And before you say, what? They'll trash the place. Take a look. The place be trashed. Seriously, man, what the heightened security, brutal traffic, canceled watch parties? How else are you going to ruin this for us? What are you going to do next? Arrest the cute little Knicks robot? No! Actually, in fairness, it's not what it looks like. He was arrested for exposing himself on the subway, so. Now, we're taping this in the afternoon on Monday, so we don't know how Trump will be received. But if his history of appearing at sporting events is any indication, his appearance at MSG is not going to go great.
Donald Trump ventured out from his Bedminster Golf Club just to get booed at today's FIFA Club World Cup final in New Jersey.
The president decided he wanted to attend Sunday's men's singles final. The president of the United States was booed.
Football fans could be heard booing President Trump during his appearance at the Lions and Commanders game. He was there to swear in new military members.
Now, of course, there is a chance everyone in the stadium was named Boo, and they were just following his instructions to state their name. But if that wasn't the case, I mean, yikes, he got booed at tennis, soccer, and football. You think Knicks fans are going to be more forgiving? Here's how forgiving Knicks fans are. In Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, they were booing the Knicks. Again, I don't know how it's going to go, but I do know it can't go any worse for Trump than it did on Sunday during his interview with Meet the Press, where he threw a hissy fit and stormed out because a reporter dared to suggest to him, ever so gently, that he might be full of
President Trump stormed out of an interview with NBC's Kristen Welker after a heated exchange over what he perceives to be crooked elections in California.
The election was rigged. It was a dirty election. And it's happening again right now in California.
Presented evidence.
It's happening right now in California. Right there, crooked, just like you're crooked. Your press is crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked.
To be fair, I'm not crooked, but let's
Really?
let's
Well,
continue.
you play right into their hands. Then.
Let's continue.
You're either crooked or you're stupid. Your elections are crooked, and you're crooked, and Meet the Press is crooked,
Mr.
and so is ABC and CBS and CNN.
But, Mr. President-
You're one-sided crooked networks. All right, let's call it quits because I've had enough. Thank you, darling. Have a good time.
If we can't have a watch party for the finals, can we have a watch party for this? Because I would absolutely stand outside MSG with 10,000 fans watching this baby throw a tantrum on a giant jumbotron. And when he walks out, we all chant, "You lost! You got indicted! There's the door!" Trump spent this entire interview whining. For example, at one point, he complained about all the bad press he got.
You know that these elections are rigged. Your network knows that they're rigged. You know that I won an election in a landslide, and I got 94% bad press.
I love that the same guy can say in an interview, "You're either crooked or stupid," and also, "Why don't people like me?" Why are you so surprised you get bad press? Your approval rating is the worst in history. You were convicted of 34 felony counts. You lost in 2020. You oversaw a pandemic and an economic crash. You got impeached twice. You incited an insurrection. And you're a worse dancer than the Knicks robot. Trump somehow can't wrap his head around the fact that a disgraced and unlikable reality star villain who barely campaigned for mayor of a city that has fewer registered Republicans than food delivery robots is losing. So he alleges fraud, but he can't offer a single shred of evidence when given an open floor to say literally anything he wants. Just one piece of evidence. The floor is yours, Mr. President. Give us a single example. Anything.
Look at what's happening in California.
To that?
It's
The
4
Republicans
days.
are doing well in
California, it's, no, they're not. They're dropping fast because it's a rigged election. Let me tell you, it's 4 days, and they aren't even close to coming up with it.
That's how they count
You know
the
why they're
votes in
doing that?
California.
Because they're cheating on the election.
Do you have evidence to support
All I
that?
have to do is look. All I have to do is look.
All I have to do is look is not an appropriate response when asked for proof of voter fraud. It's not even an appropriate response when there's a solar eclipse. Trump whined and stormed out like a baby, even though he was given an open floor to say anything he wanted to say, to present any evidence he wanted to present, but he has nothing. That's why his approval ratings are at their lowest point ever. Prices are high, we're in a war, but at least we have... This has been a closer look.
Thanks for watching.